let's move ahead and on to our very first panel here at the Royal Ballroom. This panel discussion is about the balancing act, future-proofing businesses the omni-channel way. To moderate this panel, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming on stage Mr. Bharat Mimani, MD and partner, Boston Consulting Group. Welcome, sir. Please put your hands together and welcome on stage Mr. Gulshan Bakhtiani, founder and director, Wellness Forever Medicare Limited. Let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Gulshan Bakhtiani. Join me in welcoming Mr. Kumar P. Saha, founder, Unizap. Mr. Mahesh Reddy, CEO, GOPIZZA, India. Let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Mahesh Reddy. Mr. Manish Sharma, CEO, Mr. D.I.Y, India. It appears Mr. Samir is not present. Mr. Manish Kumar, Head Enterprise Business and Growth, India Region, Kaleyra. Let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Manish Kumar. Mr. Rajesh Jain, MD and CEO, Sports and Leisure Apparel Limited, Lacoste, India. Let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Rajesh Jain. Mr. Rajesh Kadam, CEO, Inc. 5 Shoes Private Limited. Gentlemen, over to you. Our last panelist, Mr. Suhail, Sattar, Director, Hasbro Clothing Private Limited, Basics, will be joining us in about 5 minutes. Gentlemen, you may proceed.
No, so welcome everyone, and thank you so much for the panelists to join today and share their thoughts. The topic is actually not a new one. I think for the last now many years, we've all been seeing how consumers are increasingly interacting with the brands, with the retailer across various channels. How that seamlessly is increasing, how the digital influence, which used to be, 30% of all transactions, has actually increased to almost 70-80%. We've seen that journey play out. It's actually now incredibly a part of the retailers' current models. Many of the retailers have actually adopted a lot of transitions to the current model to solve for that. As they've done this, they've even seen significant benefits when it comes to their current model, what happens to retentions, what happens to consumer transactions. We've seen enough studies now which talk about what benefits multi-channel engagement with the consumers actually bring to the table. Last but not the least, we've also seen, while a lot of retailers have sort of centered this around the store, but we've also seen a lot of incremental visits even to the store, thanks to all the omni-channel engagement that we have seen. All in all, I think this is a topic which is top of mind for every retailer in the country, and I'm sure for our panelists as well. And what we will do over the next hour is just get their thoughts on a lot of points around the benefits of this, how are they adapting to it, how do they think about the future, as they think about the business growing. So that's really the focus of what we will spend a lot of the panel, time on. And without that, I'll start with actually a controversial question, and I'll throw that to a couple of our panelists to ask that. Firstly, Rajesh ji, right? Does omnichannel work?
Thank you, Bharat. Interesting question. Good afternoon, friends. So does omnichannel work? Omnichannel undoubtedly is a wonderful channel where earlier what used to happen that the customers would come to the stores or go to the website, and if they don't find your product, they would return and they would perhaps not come again. But omnichannel has provided a tool where if the product is not available at that point of time, whether it's because of the size or the color or a particular style that the customer has chosen and is not available, we can have it delivered to the customer's place of choice. We have also, of course, implemented omnichannel, and we implemented a few years ago. But what we have seen is that omnichannel doesn't really work in a huge successful manner in our category. And the reason is that, see, there are two types of customers that we have. One is the customer who would like to shop online, and there is another set of customers who would like to shop offline. And of course, there is one set of customers who would buy online as well as offline. What we have experienced is that those customers who want to wait, they would buy it online. They like the product. If they don't find it, or if they find it, they are willing to wait it to be delivered to their place in 2 days or 3 days or 5 days time, depending upon where geographically they are situated. But those customers who come to the store, they come for an experience. They want to try out the product. They want to see the look and feel of the product. That is that set of customers who don't want to wait for the product to be delivered to them. Though we have an omnichannel tool available in all our stores, but our customers, those who visit these stores, they want to, if they like the product, they want to own it immediately. So because of that, omnichannel from that perspective doesn't work in a huge successful manner for us. Plus the costs are significantly higher as compared to the benefits of omnichannel. And because of that, omnichannel doesn't necessarily work in terms of inventory mapping. However, when we look at omnichannel, I think we should not look at only inventory mapping. We should also look at having one view of the customer. So for example, our Club Lacoste program, our CRM program, it works wonderfully well in an omnichannel way. So if we have a customer who buys or shops online or offline, our loyalty program is mapped. We look at the customer as one customer, whether he is shopping or he or she is shopping online or offline, whether that customer is shopping from Bombay or Delhi or Kochi or anywhere. So in entire company-owned system that we have in the country, our CRM is seamless. So from that perspective, from CRM perspective, omnichannel is working wonderfully well for us.
No, great to always start. I think it's very interesting on how the impact actually is very varied to the context of how what the consumer is looking for, right? And I'm sure there is a spectrum of variation there. Maybe let's hear from Mahesh on, you have interacted with consumers across a lot of channels, not just online or from your stores of GOPIZZA, right? How do you see that? How do you see a flurry of channels, right? Whether it's your direct channels to the consumer, whether it's the app, website, WhatsApp, or when you look at you're serving through food service as well. Then you have your own stores and your own delivery, right? So in this complex web of channels, how do you see the benefit of these multi-channels, and how do you see that impacting your business, the way you think about it?
Good afternoon, everybody. Multi-channels are the options to increase the top line of any of the verticals or any of the brand or any of the categories. But in the end, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, और जो गरम गरम है वो अच्छा है. So that's the funda. I believe in the F&B business. But yes, for the top line, all the channels are important. But ultimately, it's in the end, bottom line, whether it works out or not. If you see half of our deliveries or half of whatever third party which we do, it's all discount, and with the commissions which we pay, and neither the third party makes money nor we pay. It's all a volume game and unit of economics. But yes, it does require, because it will take more time, because if I take an example of Singapore, 98% people order through delivery. They don't cook at home. In India, it's taking time. It will take time. Generation to generation, it's changing. Like, for example, 20 years back, nobody knew what is pizza. But today, we have to only tell them what is pizza. How to eat different pizzas, not what is pizza. So the trends are changing. So in the trends will help how the omni-channel can work, or a different modes of multi-channels can work. Like, for example, drive-in. In US, if you go, it's very common. Drive-in, that's how they save the time. Here, drive-in itself will take a time even to go, though the McDonald's or the other partners who have started, they'll say we'll give you on time, but by the time we don't go on time. So it will still take time in India for this channel. So there is a takeout model. In all the places it works, but in India, that is also taking time. So I feel it's more of experience in India. For example, a simple example I'll give. A digital QR, I go to a pub or people, they say, we don't have menu card, please order through QR. But ultimately, we Indian customers, we are taking time. We want, नहीं यार भाई menu card दिखा मुझे, तो बता दे मुझे क्या है, लेकिन QR मुझसे मत करा. So it's more of experience, which will add value. If we can add value in the omni channels in a different way with the experiences, like discount is not only the option in the experience front, it could be a value additions which can be added. It will help the omni channels in a different way to increase the top line.
Oh, well said. Actually, let me move the focus to Gulshan. So Gulshan, you had one of the leading pharmacy retail chains in the country. And you've also made a lot of forays into online, right, over the last few years, partly because of compulsion, partly because of the vision, right? So where do you see yourself in that journey? Do you believe that, you've made significant headway? Do you see this is now a part of the business and a solved problem? Or do you believe there is something bigger and that you need to solve for? I think that would be my question to you. How are you thinking about where you are on the omnichannel journey and in serving the consumers where they want to be served?
So thanks, Bharat. I would want to answer it in three parts. Coming where we are on journey, so post-pandemic, if you remember, all of us know only day and night pharmacies were open, digital adaptation had gone through the roof. So we built our omni-channel stack, and by omni-channel, a lot of us understand that, okay, if the customer can come to my app, web, WhatsApp, or any other channel. So we got a lot of traction, and customers are even today engaging with us on a channel, on all channels, So in hindsight, the journey has been quite satisfactory. But the second point that I would say, where we are going to is, and a question that we have every single day in our boardroom or when we are discussing, retailers somehow have this habit of, while we all say omni-channel, we actually mean my store plus. And in that sense, omni-channel doesn't cease to exist. Omni-channel is a mechanism where all channels are a choice of a customer. Rather than being an asset of a retailer, they are purely a behavioral choice of a customer. My son is, let's say, 24 years old. He doesn't say, "Aaj main S-commerce karunga." S-commerce as in buying from a shop. Or, "Aaj main e-commerce karunga." He just needs something. Instinctively, he decides that I'll open an app or maybe I'll call up. And so, therefore, that brings us to the point that whether we as retailers believe that omni-channel means all channels have to attract the customer to my store, or we do believe that I should be equally relevant to a person in the channel of his own choice. And channels, as we believe, are also going to kind of change. With digitization becoming more and more deeper, I'll speak for ourselves as Wellness Forever. Is Amazon not a channel for me? Today we are integrated with Dunzo, with Medibuddy, and maybe about 12 or 15 channels. But tomorrow, I see health insurance, I see government schemes, I see hospitals, I see insurance companies. They all can fetch a customer to me. And they are also the channels. And hence, omni-channel is going to be a bigger ecosystem. We only have to be a visionary to imagine. And retailers today, what we need to do is we need to invest in our tomorrow if we have to future-proof the business. Every time we need not learn from अभी Amazon ने ये किया तो हम भी करते हैं, अभी ये company कर रही है तो हम भी करते हैं. And that's kind of a reactive. And in that reactive also, sometimes I see that retailers essentially remain store retailers only, and they consider all other evolving scenarios as a good to have, or maybe yet another channel to eventually, support my store. And that kind of a mindset, I think, we are all at Wellness Forever trying to migrate from, and trying to respect a customer's, behavior. And if you talk about Gen Z or Gen Alpha, as they say, if you ask them, ke, aap online zyada karte ho ya offline zyada karte ho, he'll ask you, don't ask me these questions here. I just consume things. I just buy things. Okay, so those are technologies and ecosystem engagements is where we are investing at Wellness Forever.
I will move the focus. Am I audible? So I'll just move the focus to the late entrant, Suhail. and so you get the next question. So there's a lot of talk around, as consumers, as brands and retailers, when we are engaging with consumers, if we are interacting with them across multiple platforms, it leads to a deeper engagement, triggers more engagement, number of touch points with the customer, leads to more retention, leads to more number of times the consumer transacts. Do you see that in reality for your business? Have you seen that play out as you have done this, or do you believe that to be correct as you've done this? So what would be your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so I think digital has really helped in that. See, traditional forms of media were far more expensive and fixed. For example, your newspaper was consumed in the morning. I think digital has helped us have a continuous conversation with our customer. And I think, it has helped us stay relevant and stay in the consumer's life. So we'll do a newspaper ad with a QR code, hopefully, that will lead him to our Instagram channel where he'll subscribe, right? And then when we do a post on Instagram, we'll do a click to WhatsApp and we'll start a conversation. So I think digital, the whole, and when I say digital, media has also become omnichannel, right? Your way of consuming, of communicating with the customer has become very omnichannel for us, and we see unified view. So essentially all the touch points have increased, our relevance in the consumer's life has increased, the number of times we communicate with him has increased, also because it's become cheaper for us to continuously reach him. So I think in the last few years, WhatsApp has become a huge channel, Instagram has become a huge channel, and just that whole seamless connection where, I see a newspaper ad, like I said, and I'm able to talk to a customer care executive all in one straight line, I think has been very helpful for us and stay relevant in the consumer's mind. Maybe do a separate line for the top 1,000 phone numbers or top 10,000 phone numbers, have a dedicated customer care executive for them, saying you're important. When you reach out to us, we will do a one-on-one connection with you, one-on-one conversation. So all that has really helped for us, and it's made a huge impact for us.
But have you seen any of the Have you seen any of the consumer metrics for you, right? Whether it is about the number of times they are transacting or whether they are churning less. Have you seen any of those sort of improve for you? I don't know but anything, even a directional sense of that?
So see, not everything can be measured. And we don't intend to measure everything. We don't want to measure everything because you're a consumer brand by and large. We were speaking that in the digital landscape, there's last click attribution, first click attribution, and then somewhere in between. So Google will say that, the consumer originally originated on Google, then he went to your website, then he went to Facebook. So there are 10 people claiming the same transaction. So at sometimes you have to do a little bit of baniya math and say, मैंने इतना खर्चा किया है, मैंने इतना धंधा किया है, and leave it at that. Because if you're going to get anal about data for the sake of data, then you're going down a rabbit hole. And for me, we have the large, your indicators, profit, expenditure, advertising, ROI. By and large, if I meet that, I'm not very anal about data, and for me, it's not as important, right? And little bit of gut and instinct, of course, they say data is God, but little bit of gut and instinct also we bring to the table.
Let me now just, you can't have a conversation these days about Omnichannel without actually talking about ONDC, right? And I think, let me pose a question to Kumar, right? So, in terms of, as you think about ONDC, there's a lot of talk around, lot of expectation which it started about a year and a half ago, right? It has made a lot of progress, but the question on everybody's mind is, when, how, and quickly will it actually change, and will it really democratize the entire consumer connect, the retailer universe? Will it democratize that with all the transactions? What's your view on that, and why?
First thing, it's already happening. It's not, we are not, hoping. It's already happening. We started the ONDC transaction in the beta started 1 year back, just crossed 1 year. if you see the last year data, like the December data, so there has been 3 million retail transaction has been there. And 1.5 million was food as usual, and rest was, fashion, FMCG, and electronics. So already fashion have got a decent number of share. I think fashion would be the third position of, first is the food, second, the grocery, and then is the fashion, followed by electronics. And how soon it would be much bigger? Today, it is not even 0.2% of the total e-commerce universe of the country. So if you see historically, the India has been a, path shower for the world in the tech innovation, for where the, billions people get affected, right? So Aadhaar started, it took almost 10 years, right, to become what Aadhaar is. UPI started, it took 5 years. And ONDC, the way I don't think it should take more than 3 years. So we have already crossed 1 year, and I'm pretty sure when we'll cross end of 2024, it will have at least 5% share of the e-commerce, total e-commerce. So that's my belief. So today, if you see, we are clocking some, we as one of the, seller node on ONDC are clocking more than 1 lakh transactions.
And do you see, do you see, you mentioned food, grocery, and then fashion as the top 3 categories. Do you believe this will be restricted to these 3? Do you believe it will go beyond? When, at what stage? And when do you see this becoming sort of a, for some of the other categories, a material play?
The beauty is, if see, all the transactions are coming from the top 3 buyer app today. So we are expecting there would be 200 plus different apps, including all the banking app that we use, or day-to-day, whatever day-to-day app we are using today or tomorrow, they will be part of the ONDC network or the ecosystems, right? So every transaction can be followed by, retail transaction also, when everyone will be on those ecosystems. So I see, the transaction is not going to be a steady growth. It will be a straight, hockey stick growth. Suddenly once all the there, and plus, what I understand, like for a lot of brands, right, they are still in a dilemma whether this network is for the smaller brands, for MSME type of small businesses, or whether my brands are going to get devalued if I am into ONDC. So you have to see in a different way. So there are going to be hundreds of, buyer node who will be interacting with the consumer. And the interaction today may not ideally be only a e-commerce type of platform. It could be anything, right? So where the transaction can happen, right? Along with, it could be the IoT base or whatever, right? Today we are moving into those, right? So as a seller or a provider, I can decide where I am to be. If I don't want to be some platform which may devalue my brand value, I can opt out from, showing my product on those. So, which are possible on the ONDC network, which may not be possible on the other network, other platform. So, these are one of the beauty of this network. And second, like, as you said, like, whether it's for only this, any sector which you can think of, including services, already the use cases we are solving on this network, including transaction also. So it is going to be a whole universe, and I'm pretty sure the whole world is going to follow this model, and it will go. And plus, we are also doing some use cases for the international, export as well.
No. I think all of us are hopeful after the UPI and Aadhaar story, how, all of us as Indians want to this to play out and feel proud. So I would move the focus to Rajesh. I think in terms of, if you look at the footwear industry, right, and if you think about what Omnichannel has sort of created in terms of requirements to change fundamental business processes, right, whether it is around product development, whether it is around marketing, or any other, right? How have you seen fundamental processes changing basis either data from there, or just experiences from there, or just requirements of running these channels?
Yeah, hi.
Good evening. For us, Omnichannel works. We've just integrated all the stores, all the point of sales what we do on the physical retail across the board. But we are very inventory high and SKU. We got a lot of SKUs in the stores. So if a consumer goes to the store, so if we have roughly around 400 to 500 SKUs, and we've got a Omni where we do it with a partner. So if she tries and she doesn't find a pair, so at her disposable there are only 500 SKUs. Vis-a-vis, we have a barcode of our own e-com also, which gives her entire visibility of the entire inventory across the country what we've got. So that can be 6,000 SKUs, 5,000 SKUs. So she gets a more option there. But having said that, when she tries a particular SKU in the store, if she doesn't have the size, then she could go on the tab, punch in wherever it is availability, and she can call it. So to get in better to the product side of the question, we are a fast fashion footwear brand, but now as the demand says, we post-COVID rather, the whole dynamics have changed. Everything is revolving around AI, digital. So we have all spends are towards marketing what we do. Also product development, we are making more fashion-oriented products with more comfort today to get that consumer right. Also, we do a lot of material which are sustainable. That's a new buzzword around. Everybody wants to be sustainable, vegan, man-made. So all these things together, we have incorporated in our styling also. But Omni and all the digital channels are here to stay. It's to its own. So just Suhail said it doesn't work for him. Rajesh also said it doesn't work for me. But it works for us because we are not into that price point. We know what are the discounts, what has to be offered, where to draw the line, because we are inventory heavy, and we are a category which is it changes very fast. So we need to adapt all the fashion things which are going on, as well as how your product is to be seen on the either on an Omni or either on a marketplace. So technically marketplace works well for us more because the entire inventory is again live on that. So if you ask me, Omni works for us, but marketplace works for us as well as our own site for us.
Makes a lot of sense. I think Gulshan, I'll just throw this question to you. So at least till a year ago, more than that, right? I think online was a little bit synonymous to discounts. The way e-commerce has grown in India, the way the value propositions which scaled up in India, including in the pharmacy space with a lot of new entrants, right, has been a lot anchored towards online is equal to discount, right? Loosely put. So do you see that that entire element still being the same, or are you seeing brands are able to create propositions which allow consumers to break that allows them to break that barrier and get the consumers to shop for things beyond discount on online for the true convenience of it, whether around the number of products you can offer, like Rajesh mentioned, or otherwise, right? So where are you on that? Where do you believe the Indian consumer is on that journey?
So thanks here for asking that question, and I'll put it this way, e-commerce actually, is a C-commerce. All of us know is a convenience commerce. It was, however, promoted as D-commerce, which is discount commerce. And it was a paradigm that was created by, wahan to main online jaunga, mujhe sasta milega. And that's where probably e-commerce companies burned themselves also. अब मेरे गांव में सब लोग अपना घर जलाएंगे, थोड़ी गर्मी तो मुझे भी लगेगी ना. I cannot. So that was an era, but that does not make e-commerce a villain. It is how it was done was wrong, and we all have to realize that a very, very good tool was used, and hence the newer avatar of e-commerce is going to be far more embedded in the behavior of a customer. We are clearly seeing that, many people have burnt their houses. But unfortunate part, all of my fellow retailers will know that discount is a war that you can only start. And customer has to stop it. And nobody can win that war. Okay. So while now those people who were earlier in, for want of a better word, in a land grab, you know, now realize कि मैं discount नहीं देना चाहता हूँ या 20% नहीं देना चाहता हूँ. The moment the discount come down, the orders are also coming down. So they are realizing that never they're really selling medicines, they're only selling discounts. Are you getting a point? So therefore, fortunately for all of us and for community at large, we are seeing a huge kind of step back in discounts, and customers to realize that कि भाई मेरे को सभी चैनल में एक जैसा ही मिलेगा. It is for, in fact, by virtue of quick commerce, I may say that we will very soon walk into an era where customer will say, देख मेरे को अभी चाहिए, I'm willing to pay about 50 rupees more. मैं गाड़ी निकाल के तेरे दुकान में आऊंगा तो मेरे को और ज्यादा खर्चा हो जाएगा. So, you know, let's say that we are today, by virtue of e-commerce, we gave the customer what the customers were not willing to pay. Okay. So, to answer your question, what we are realizing is that good for everybody that this discount journey or unreasonable deep discount journey is on a reversal mode, but it may take some more time, which, however, in the newer avatar, e-commerce will be far more embedded in the overall scheme of affairs for both the customers as well as for the retailers.
So may I add to that? I think I completely agree with Gulshan. I would just like to add, it also varies from category to category. Gulshan is in a different category where discounts are available offline also, and the customer seeks that discount online as well. But suppose if we go to a fashion category, a premium fashion category in which we are, I personally believe that this is how you give that habit to the customer, how you make the customer habitual to a particular channel. So for example, from the very beginning, we are very clear that we will not differentiate between channel of distribution in terms of pricing, in terms of offering, in terms of look and feel, in terms of the customer service. We never gave discounts online or offline other than end of season sale when we do. So there is no differentiation between online and offline. These are two wonderful channels of distribution. And the customer has understood that if they want to buy a Lacoste, whether they buy online or offline, it could be because of a different driver. It could be for online, it could be because of 24/7, ease, convenience, anywhere shopping. And when they come to our shop, they come for experience. So what I want to say is that it is how you train the customer. It is how you present yourself to the customer. When the customer sees that if your discount is, if you buy online and the brand is available on discount, they would definitely look for discount online. So this is a nuance that we have created in the minds of the customer.
Well said. And I think if you look at the other markets also, right, wherever omnichannel has scaled up, that's the principle which has also been followed in many of the other markets, including emerging markets like Mexico. So I think well said, and I think that's also
in fact, you're absolutely right. If you go to Europe and other countries, if you buy online, in fact, you have to pay extra.
Yeah.
And yet the basket sizes are higher.
Yes, of course.
So let me actually shift to Manish. Right, you've sort of been on the side of being enabling the retailers, right, on actually drawing out their omni-channel journeys, provide differential experience to the consumer, right? I mean, you can talk about the offering, but I would actually ask you a controversial question, right? As you've interacted with the retailers, right, what do you think retailers are doing well in going for giving a multi-channel, anytime, anywhere experience to the consumer, and what do you think in terms of adopting that, in terms of embedding into their business? What should retailers do differently?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Bharat, for asking this question. I'll take a seat back and I'll talk about the mobile users, smartphones, internet users in India, because then only we can have that number, like how retailers are growing, what is their strategy in terms of omni-channel. So India is a market of 1.2 billion users, and out of that, 937 million users are using smartphones, and this is growing by a CAGR of 22%. Out of which, like 850 million users are only on internet, right? So that's a big number for us, where we can use different channels on those particular mobile numbers. You'll be surprised to hear this, like in 2019, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, they were using only 36% of smartphones. But in 2023, this has grown to 76% and 88% usage of the data, internet, online. So now coming to the CPaaS and SaaS channels which are being used in the retail segment. So earlier, retail chains were using only the CPaaS channel, which is the traditional one, which is like your SMS, email, or voice. But they were not getting any ROI on that, right? No click rate. It was just a commoditized product, transactional one. There was no two-way communication. There was no higher customer experience. There was no satisfaction survey. Now, when they move to the SaaS, which is your new age digital channels, which is WhatsApp for business or Google RCS, rich communication services, and the AI chatbots, contact center where they can connect with a human agent. So the ROI and the customer satisfaction has increased because now everything is on just a click. So you can have two-way interaction with a bot. If you want to see a catalog or a product or items, you can just scroll and you can just select it. And the best thing is that nowadays you can also do the payment as well. So without leaving the channel, you can just do everything on a single click, and you can have everything online. So you don't need to go to a store. As my friend mentioned that they are putting the QR codes on the newspapers, right? So he can just click on the QR code. It can be routed to a WhatsApp where he can select the products, where he can interact with the customer support as well and check the status of the items. So everything can be done on a just single click. And the beauty of the product is that the traditional channels like SMS and email, the open rate was hardly like 20% and the click rate was only 2%, which was like around 1.92%. Now, when the retailers move to the WhatsApp, the percentage of like open rate is 98%, which is like very high. And if you talk about the click rate, the CTRs, right? So it is almost 52%. So where they are having good customer experience, good satisfaction, and their retention of customer is very high on that particular channel. And if they wanted to send some loyalty program discount, so they can do everything on a single channel, which was not happening on the traditional channels. So this is how it has shifted and grown to a very huge extent in retail segment.
Great to hear that. And Rajesh, I'll ask you the next question. I'm sure Lacoste is looking to expand the business, the footprint in India across the larger towns, across getting to the top income segment in the next tier towns. Now that you are in a place where you're providing consumers an integrated experience, for your next set of network expansion, footprint expansion, how are you thinking differently, either in terms of store format, where to open the store, how to build the demand around the store? Is something changed in the way you are thinking about that from a footprint and expansion perspective?
Thank you, Bharat. So to answer that question, I would take a larger picture, a bigger picture. What are we thinking going forward? In fact, even before that, I would like to challenge the topic of this discussion, which is future-proofing your business. So when we talk about future, is there any definition of future? Does any number come to anybody's mind? We are talking about tomorrow, 2 days from now, 2 years from now, 2 decades from now. Is there any particular definition of future? Anybody? No? So basically saying that future-proofing your business itself, in my view, is a misconception. There is no way one can future-proof any business. Just before COVID, nobody thought that the COVID would come and the businesses would shut down. So there is nothing called future-proofing. However, within the given circumstances, given the current circumstances, our understanding of the business, we have taken some steps which have proved to be very successful in bringing the customers back to us again and again. Our repeat customer buying is very high. More than 63% of our customers are repeat customers, and obviously we acquire new customers through other means also. Through other means by offering that what I'm going to tell you now. So there are 3 steps that we have taken in this. One is collection, second is convenience, and the third is care. So when we talk about collection, we ensure that we bring new, innovative, great products to the customers every season, and within the season we have sub-seasons also, sub-launches also. And the second part is convenience, and that is where your answer lies. When we talk about convenience, the customer today is looking for convenience. They're looking for offline stores which are bigger, which are beautiful, which give more experience, and they're looking for online great experience also, and we provide both. To answer and why I took this entire larger picture is to answer your question about the stores that we are expanding. Yes, we are expanding in the next 3 to 4 years. We will be expanding more aggressively, which is suitable for an international premium brand. What we are doing is, we are taking much bigger stores now. We are opening much bigger stores wherever we are going. Second, we are bringing the latest interior fit-out concept, the global Lacoste concept called La Club concept, that we are bringing to India, and that gives a different kind of experience to the customers. Lacoste is known for relaxed elegance. It's known for freedom of movement. Not only our products, even our stores reflect that kind of a thing. So the stores that we are bringing, the new concept that we are bringing of La Club, that will be a bigger size store with a lot of maneuverability for the customer to move around the store and look for those designs, etc. So we are expanding, and we are opening these new stores, to answer your question. And third part is care. Care is something that is really emerging very fast across the world and in India also, and care is for the environment. We as a brand have defined timelines to reduce our footprint over the next few years. And that's extremely important also from the customer's perspective. Customers are becoming very knowledgeable, very aware of these things. A lot of customers, even in India, when they come to our store, they do ask us questions that what are the products that are environment friendly, and they're willing to pay a little premium for those type of products also. We're using a lot of recycled products. We are recycled yarn. We are using organic cotton quite a lot. So those are the things, all of them put together, they are actually helping us expanding and bringing the customers back to us again and again.
Rajesh, any thought from your side on how you are thinking about expanding this again in the fashion space?
So expansion is big on the cards for us. So in next 3 years, we roughly around plan to open 100 stores. So a couple of things, when we identify a location, we see we take a lot of help of digital AI. So we take our data from our online sales, what happened from what Instagram stories, clicks are there. So definitely technology absolutely works for us. We don't open big box or a big format now the way all the top sportswear or a footwear retailer, international footwear retailer opens, but we open a mid-sized store depend on the location and obviously rent to ratio. Agar paisa nahi banega, to there's no sense of opening store anywhere in the country. So gone are those days where there used to be a buzzword or a flagship store. We have each city, each state flagship store in each and every city. So,
but any changes in where, given the omni-channel and given the multi-channel engagement with the consumer and on the online business for you as well, any changes in how do you think about which markets, which territories, because of this entire multi-channel engagement?
Correct. So we look at more of the tier 2, tier 3, tier 1 cities now. We are opening, while we are talking, 4 stores are under fit out at Ajmer and Kot. I mean all places where there's no direct flight also in this, but still we are opening stores. So we get a lot of help from the large format players, what we are, the shoppers, the lifestyle where they have stores. So we get the numbers. So the whole thing, everything is mapped. Also, if there is a retailer who's doing a similar kind of business, we look after that numbers also. So identifying location and the right rental is the key to open the stores. So for the next year, the growth story is at us at a faster pace.
You have some thoughts around what will you do differently for your next set of outlets you open, given the channel mix you have seen for your business?
With so much heavy competition, if we have to survive, we have to be different. And we believe in 4S, that is shape, size, speed and service. A pizza, what we serve is a old shape pizza. The pizza we serve in 5 minutes, not in 15 minutes. The service also takes 5 minutes. The space, our model can be put in 50 square feet to 2000 square feet model. So the outlets, what we have opened 50 stores in just 1.5 years. We have flagship stores. We are in airport. We are in high street. We are in highway. We are in inside the hospital. We are at the college. We can be in anywhere. And now I feel the new model with 50 square feet that we just now signed in Thailand with 7 by 11. 7 by 11, there are 14,000 units in Thailand. At a shot, we're going to open 14,000 outlets in Thailand. And in India also, 7-Eleven talks are still on. So that's a big convenience national tie-up which we'll be doing it. So we are looking at differently what are what you call role models like Domino's, Pizza Hut took 25 years to teach the customers what is pizza, and we are looking at how do we make it fast and different, and with a Korean concept what we have, with the experience point of it, where like all our kids will talk about BTS and Netflix, the K-dramas. So we do not have to actually teach the trend. So trend is also helping. So any brand, I feel the present trends, present technologies, they have to accept. Innovation has to be there quarterly in their products. With the international globalizations, whatever trends going on, which will be well accepted, because I feel the present kids are the future customers, and the present kids will call their parents, and even the parents don't eat. They will ensure that at least for the kids' sake, they will come and spend, and that's the what we see it. For example, I give one Squid Game. You all would have seen it. We launched the Dalgona dessert. That's a sugar candy type, where we made kids we made all the customers to lick that or break that zodiac sign, and now we are waiting for Squid Game 2, where we'll be doing a bigger marketing campaign where you'll see more customers coming. And now with the Dalgona, where we see one more brand, I'm launching Dalgona dessert brand with the GOPIZZA in the airport in a month's time, where all the K desserts, K candies, K drinks will be launched. So yes, along with the K dramas and everything, we in the India, which is potential, which is large, which is logistic, if it works, if you can plan well back end, we can open from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, everywhere outlet, and with 50 outlets now this year itself, I think so we'll touch more 100 outlets in India. So, and next year we'll touch 300 outlets. That's the plan for India.
No, I saw a lot of smiles on people's faces when you said K-drama. So I think it's anything with that sales. Yeah. So actually, on that note, right, I think it's quite interesting the way you said it as to how you're really thinking about even furthering what is a channel, right, and how you need to necessarily not think in the, I think Gulshan mentioned this earlier, in the box of stores, right? So Gulshan, as you think about it, right, have you ever had this dilemma of saying, you know, I run a store format, that's what I'm good at. Should I make that better? Should I, you know, even at the cost of what Rajesh said, you know, saying future-proof it, right? Should I do that, versus should I just disrupt myself and go after, you know, unconstrained? Do I become a disease solution player? Do I become something else? How do you typically, you know, handle such a dilemma like that? Should I disrupt my own business, or should I, you know, make it better? Have you ever faced this dilemma?
So we face it on everyday basis, and all of us face it. It's about whether future is going to be continuation of past. All of us know it is not going to be. And more importantly, post-digitization, post-internet, post-pandemic, the world that we are entering into is going to be definitely very different from what we have lived in. Problem is that we've been the way we have been for so many years. A successful retailer becomes a successful retailer with, let's say, 20 years of experience. And hence the tendency to depend on the experience every time, which is probably sitting in the past. And so, and then future is sometimes unknown, you know. Digitization has taken so many leaps that today my children know much more about e-commerce and about various, nuances of technology than I do. And hence that makes me a weak player in tomorrow's, game. And therefore, in the boardroom or in the room when we are discussing, here is a game that I've played very well and I know it always. Here is a game that I don't know how to play and I'm not good at playing. Now we don't know which is the game my customer is going to play. Okay. So, but the future is very, very certain that, my tomorrow's customer is a digital native. He's Gen Z. He has a behavior, which all of us know. And hence, to bring that debate to an end. We did that post-pandemic for 1-2 years, and then we come on to a beautiful model, and that is, that if we feel it can happen, see, innovation is not an invitation, or it is not a good to have. We all have to innovate. एक ज़माने में internet को disruption बोलते थे. Are you getting my point? And so therefore tomorrow is definitely going to be different. So what we have done is that maybe we can bring about change in small bites, and we can do pilot the change. ठीक है, काम करते हैं. If this man is going to be very innovative in the room and he's talking, sir, हम AI लगाएंगे, हम customer को, he talks something which I'm not being critical about, but I can very humbly accept कि मेरे को नहीं लगता, मेरे साथ कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ था. Okay, but in the same breath I am saying कि मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ था does not mean कल ऐसा नहीं होगा. Okay, और मैं आज कल के लिए पैसे नहीं डालूंगा तो मैं कल वाला प्लेयर बन जाऊंगा. Hello? Banking and fintech, all banks thought that fintech was the challenger to them, and now they realize that fintech is probably helped them up their game, and probably if they would have gone on to that journey earlier, things would have been very different today. Okay, and we were speaking about that in the morning today. So what we have now done is all changes, no matter how big the appetite is. Okay, and so we'll pilot it. We'll pilot it in 3-4 new stores and see how it is. Only 1-2 words of cautious of whoever is wanting to be innovative is that give that innovation a time to grow. Okay, you are not likely to get it right the first time. Okay, बच्चा जब पैदा होता है तो immediately भागना चालू नहीं करता है. He'll fall 3-4 times. Okay, as retailers in our company, every time something fails, then maybe we tend to be defensive because as retailers there are only this much margin that we can support. So hence, we are on that game of constantly innovating and making sure that our innovation does not cost us our bottom line. Finally, we cannot say that we opened 5 stores and we innovated so much that the whole bottom line is gone. So it's a kind of a tightrope walk, which, inherently a retailer within us or an entrepreneur within us, or would always keep on guiding us, and hopefully we get that walk right for future.
No, so I think one last question, and maybe good to get all your thoughts around it, right? As we and all of you guys have steered the organizations towards omnichannel at different levels of different models across different categories, different degrees of success, as we saw in what omnichannel is delivering for the business. But if you were to now think about what are the key challenges that you as an organization are facing, and maybe let's hear from the retailers first, right? What are the challenges you are facing, and what are the problems that needs to be solved to bring the true power of omnichannel to your consumers fully, like it is in other markets? Do you see any challenges that is there, either technologically or in terms of adoption of it by the teams or anything? Any challenges that you see that needs to be solved in the next 4-5 years, or anything that will change fundamentally given what's happening with Gen Z and now the Gen A and all of that?
So, I'd like to lead with that answer. I think for us as retailers, this omni-channel is the holy grail. E-commerce is something that Rajesh is doing, but I'm not able to do. वो कर रहा है, वो पैसा बना रहा है, I don't know. There seems to be this buzz that suddenly a lot of people are doing business on e-commerce. मेरे से क्यों नहीं होता है? I'm saying if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's a duck, right? So I don't see a lot of people making net profit or a positive return on capital on e-commerce right now, right? The original premise of e-commerce e-commerce being built, original premise was convenience. And I think that one of the panelists said that it's more expensive to buy online abroad than it's to buy in a store. I think that's the original premise. Until the consumer doesn't move towards that, I'd like to be cautious and not burn my house down in the hope that I'll get a valuation, that I'll, suddenly grow 15x or 20x in terms of volume. While, all of us have that wish list. Everybody wants to be very rich. Everybody wants to be very large companies. But the truth here is that, you can only take it one step at a time, unless, of course, you have unlimited sums of money. And if you have unlimited sums of money, then why do you go to work at all? So that's a very different question, right? So going forward, the challenge is in how to calibrate and lead your organization with the right amount of patience and aggression. I think somewhere between that, we'll need to find that line, right? And if we can find that line somewhere in between, right? Saying that no, some part of it is my own gut. No, Rajesh is saying मैं बहुत कर रहा हूँ online, it doesn't work for me यार. मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है. It's not working for my brand. I tried. नहीं हो रहा है, right? It doesn't work. But that doesn't mean I need to shut shop. No, maybe I'll go to Raipur and open one more store. And you know, if I can't sell to a consumer online in Raipur, maybe I'll walk the high streets of Raipur, find a good location, negotiate with the landlord, get a good location next to a place that has high likelihood of customer footfall. So I think it's a combination of all that. And I don't think we need to, I don't want to feel very insecure going forward saying that, am I running out of a skill set to run a business? Have I suddenly become redundant? Have I suddenly lost relevance? I think managing that anxiety, right, that fear, for me as a retailer, is one of my biggest challenges.
Okay, to add to that, in fact, when you ask about the challenges, I think personally, on personal basis, I love challenges because if there were no challenges, nobody would employ me. My shareholders have employed me to take care of those challenges only. But having said that, I think challenges come with the opportunities. So currently we see there is so much of tech that is coming into retail. Choosing the right tech itself could be a big challenge. We don't do tech just for the sake of tech, just for the heck of tech. We don't want to be guinea pigs. We see that what is relevant for our business, what is relevant for our customers, then only we pick and choose that tech. And there also we do have to ensure that there is either there is a ROI which satisfies us on the tech platform, or there is a customer delight which cannot be measured in terms of ROI. Unless these two things, either of these two things or both of these things are there, we don't go for tech. But as I said, that the challenges, we can say that there's too much of tech right now.
Retail being a 50 billion market, I think so F&B takes 10% off, and that's the potential which is there in the entire retail. As you rightly said, online, all these are options available, and something works for him, something doesn't work for him, something works for him. Like for example, you all would have heard about Ghost Kitchen. You all would have heard about Cloud Kitchen. These are all online platforms. But unless until customer sees physically those brands to survive, or it will become a challenge point. I agree with your technology point, and I agree with you what is the challenge, because we are a food tech company. We do AI at back end and robotic in the front, but robotic is costly. And customers in abroad, of course, they're accepting it. In India, it's taking time. They still want us to go and speak to them and take the order. Even a self kiosk which has been kept, they say, I don't want to go and press. You have to come and take my order. So it doesn't mean the technology is bad. It's a time which is taking time. It's a trend. It's the customers which is taking time, which will change over a period of time. We have to teach the customers. This is how you can scan. You can take the order. You don't have to speak to anybody. So this is the challenge of time, which I feel it's not like any technology is bad or good. It's the right time of what we use. I feel most of the entrepreneurs who are here, we are at the right era, and I'm sure all the panelists who are my colleagues who are here, they all will agree. The next 5 years or the next 2-3 years are the best for the India, with the age, with the populations, with the potential, the scalability model, with the logistics, what's available. If you do innovation, if you're ready to fight with the competition, with the technology at the right time, any brand, any vertical, I feel we are here and we can make it.
Do you want to?
Nothing.
Bharat, I'm a little tempted to say this, that as a closing note from my end, I would say that 3 or 4 years, 5 years back, I used to hear an ad on the radio of an Indian banker saying, हम आपके पिताजी को जानते हैं, हम आपके दादाजी को भी जानते हैं, and that's who we are. And banks probably for more than 70 years knew only one way of doing business, that was a branch level business. Okay, and they put in their whole might to, run it. Now I'm leaving at a question with you. Future, would you see branch level banking, or it will be completely digital? How you will use, and whether, there is a tendency to somehow get pulled back to what we have always done? That's a question I want to leave you with, and whether tomorrow's banks will be completely digital, or still you will see, kind of newer and newer branches opening, and whether there is a message for us as retailers.
No, well said. And I think, so firstly, very insightful set of points, guys. And great to see optimism to cautious optimism around building omnichannel. Great to see how, there is a bit around how do you let this grow in the organization in a cautious way, so that some of these are tested and then allowed to be scaled up many a times, where the person at the helm may not necessarily have experienced them in their previous avatar of the business or in their personal sort of experiences. It's great to see how, from a technology perspective, there continues to be new developments around new channels of communication with the consumers and how that is growing. And it's great to see how multi-channeling, I think what you mentioned around using newer channels to actually make this not about opening a set of stores, but actually thinking about what are ways and means and the right missions, the right points at which you actually interact with the consumers, right? I think, and it's great to see that. Great to see how the answer and the offering or the proposition of omnichannel is very different from a premium fashion brand versus a value footwear to let's say pharmacy, and how what each in each category, in each format, what omnichannel provides is so fundamentally different. And lastly, why the topic also of the discussion was incorrect. I think, I didn't write it, but great to see that also, to say, it's not about future proofing. It's actually about saying, this is India's time. This is about innovating. This is one place where I don't think India has reached its element, partly because of what was mentioned, which is the consumer experience has a lot of limitations today in terms of your ability to service in time, your ability to, deliver from various point A to point B, and many a times, right? And how do we continue to be on that journey, bring in efficiencies, bring in clutch points? I think it's going to be critical. So very insightful, and thank you so much to the panelists to actually take out time and share your experiences. Audience. Any question from the audience? Yeah.
Could somebody give a mic to him, please?
So I said, hello, I'm Colonel Vijay Nair. I was heading a supply chain for a large company. Now I'm a consultant. So omnichannel has got to do a lot with supply chain. I didn't see much discussion. That's been a grouse all my life. My question is about, omnichannel is choice and convenience. Are we trying to benchmark ourselves with an A company which is running a 5,000 crores loss and making a 22,000 crores top line, and actually beating ourselves with it? Is there something we can do as the retail association and agree and not make it a D-commerce and do a proper e-commerce? Your views on that, Bharat, and rest of the panel, please.
I think the question is very, very relevant, but answer is as difficult as it can get. I don't think retailers have ever been able to agree even on the dates of EOSS. And that's driven by a lot of other factors. Not that retailers do not want to do that. There are several other factors, like there are international brands who have international guidelines. There are local brands who have different drivers. Similarly, doing away with discount, etc., is not one person's or one organization's decision. It has to be a much bigger role. In fact, if you see, before 2010 or around 2010-11, there were not much of discount. Even during end of season sale, there was a very minimal discount, but the discount actually started making inroads somewhere in the mid of 2014 when online started coming into India, and they started unfortunately attracting customers by predatory pricing. This started from there, and because the offline retailers also needed to sustain their business, they started the same bandwagon. But I think the longer term perspective is a little better, because even online channels, some of them at least, are realizing that somewhere down the line they have to be EBITDA positive or EBITDA break even, and they have started reducing the discounts to a great extent. But it's a long way. It can't happen overnight. It will take a few years to get to that level. And then I think we will again see the golden era of retail.
Can I ask a question? Hi, my name is Ketan Vyas. My question is to Mr. Rajesh Jain and then to Mr. Reddy. Mr. Jain, you said that Omnichannel doesn't really work for you. A Lacoste t-shirt, average sales price 7,500. Shoes, 20,000. Something that's a combination of shoes and comfort wear, 35, 40,000. And yet you say it doesn't work for you. So what is that one cost factor or couple of cost factors that tilt the decision towards a negative omnichannel experience? Because you work directly with the consumer, you don't even work through large online portals where they would extract a huge commission from you. My second question to you is, Mr. Reddy, we've seen that Domino's started a race by saying 30 minutes delivery. Other brands picked on by saying 20 minutes, 15 minutes, offering convenience to that one inefficient customer who wants everything at home. That delivery boy risks his life, crosses red lights, parks his car, parks his bike wherever he wants, conveniencing one customer, inconveniencing 100 others on the road who have to navigate somehow or the other with these indisciplined guys. Are you creating a self-defeating business model where you're only bothered about your top line and your bottom line and not actually caring about an ethical practice for the delivery boys or for the other partners in the chain, where you say, we will deliver in 45 minutes, but we ensure road rules are followed, traffic rules are followed, and safety of our personnel is most important rather than your convenience sitting at home and trying to deliver you in 7 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, just to answer your question very quickly because the time is up. I think you have taken only one part of my answer. As I said, in our case, omnichannel doesn't work because the customers who come to our shops, if they like something, they want to immediately own it. They don't want to wait for 2 or 3 days to be delivered at a later date. And if some product is not available in the store or online, they would rather come back again and see the product and touch and feel again if they want to go to offline store. So cost, when I said this is measured in two terms, one is ROI. So if there is a return on investment, then only we would invest. But there is another factor which is customer delight. Suppose omnichannel doesn't give me an ROI, I'm okay with that, as long as it can give me customer delight. And it's not that we have not implemented omnichannel. We have omnichannel across all our stores, but it doesn't work hugely successfully in our case.
GoPizza, we do more experienced stores. We do 98% dine-in sales, only 2% aggregator sale. Now I can increase the aggregator sale to 40%, 50% by discounts method, by giving more options to Swiggy, Zomato. So we are not working in delivery model, we are working completely dine-in. That's how different we are compared to the competitors. As you asked rightly question, the delivery boy and safety and all these issues. Hence, as I said, GoPizza, we serve pizza in 5 minutes, not 20 minutes. When it takes 30 minutes, 20 minutes, it takes time preparation, then 10 minutes to delivery for the boy. Even if I start the delivery module as one more channel, as a bigger, to increase the top line, still I'll be able to deliver it within 30 minutes where the driver can go safely. So we are not looking at delivery as a main business. That's the dictate from the global investors, because yes, in the delivery with the aggregator, we burn money. We don't make profit unless it's a big volume. The customer to know GoPizza everywhere, that takes time. Domino's is here from 25 years. So everybody knows that. It's a delivery model, it's not a dine-in model. So that's how we are different. But the time, if we ensure the product is prepared, which we have ensured and we have cracked with our patent Goan with the AI technology, it's ensuring the safety of the boy also. I hope I have answered your question.